Here we go. Wimmera Football. Scotty Stewart standing by from the Warwick Herald to join us. Scotty, how are you today?
I'm going well, thanks, Flowman.
Good. Last week's action, Matoa were no match for Ararat. Now, I don't know quite why that was the case, because they were very good for the weeks leading into it, and suddenly Ararat, undefeated Ararat, have absolutely poleaxed to Matoa. They were like flying doctors flying out of Minyip.
Yeah, they certainly were. They've flown in and got the job done and flew out and maintained that perfect record that they've set up, 14 from 14 at the moment, and looking pretty good to maybe make it all the way through undefeated. But it'll be a couple of tough weeks to come for them, but that'll be just a nice little tune-up for Matty Wilder. He's got a couple of injuries at the moment, but they should be right. But no, the Arrow boys were far too good last week in Matoa. It's really weird, isn't it? The Boroughs, they're up and then they're down, but yeah, without really knowing what happened with this game. But they've dominated. I mean, look at the half-time score, 7-7 to 5 points. So.
I'll tell you what, the Boroughs, they had 2-point win over the Saints in round 14, a 5-goal win over Dimbuller in round 15, and then they go down to the top side by 12, 13 goals. It's on the home deck. I thought that was the key thing. Saints, 15-10, 100. Dimmy, 7-13, 55. Have the Kangaroos' hopping legs fallen off?
No, you certainly have at the minute, haven't they? That's 4 in a row, I think, now, and still got two. I shouldn't say that, bye this week, and a tough one in the final round. So I think they're going to maintain their spot in the top 5. But they'd like to get that last round win, but at the moment that just doesn't look like it with the Roos. They just in a bad patch, doing a bit of a Carlton-esque about 7 weeks ago. So they went down to the Saints here when they dominated the Saints in the first half, 5 goals in each quarter, and seen a bit of vision of that, and they really did dominate play. The Blues got into the game a little bit in the second half, but the job was done. Mitchy Martin's kicked another 5, and the Saints, they just continue on their way.
Yeah, I think they'll come up against Ararat in round 18. Their percentage is about 30% or 40% in front of Stall, so Stall will never make that percentage up, so Tibby is safe. But they got a tough game to face the top side for their final game of the season, and then finals and elimination final the week after against Matoa. I reckon is a tough ask for them. I reckon their season looks pretty tough from here. Southern Mallee, too good for Nhill in a good batch, 9-14-68 to 8-8-56, and Nhill took it right to the Giants, right through to the last quarter. This is a credible effort from the Tigers and something they can build on for next year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a team they seem to match up with pretty well, the Giants. The Nhill boys, and there's exactly what you said there, 2 points up at three-quarter time, and that was game on. And memories would have kept flooding back for the Giants boys of past meetings with the Tigers, but no, they were good enough in that last quarter and held the Tigers goalless in that last quarter. Only kicked one themselves, but 1-6 in the last quarter showed that they were pretty well had control of the footy in that last quarter, and that was a pretty important win actually in the context. I mean, they're not going to lose top 3 positions, but the results fall their way. They could finish in second position.
Yeah, really well done. Stall, 11-17-83 to Warwick, 7-5-47. The chance gone, I think, for the Eagles' first win, unless they can do something miraculous against the Giants this week. But a credible effort from your side all the same. I noted that at half-time they're only down by a couple of goals and right in the match. So they just seem to be putting some things in place, Warwick, that are helping get this side up to a first win, but I think it could be a in-vain performance.
Yeah, no, last week was a really good effort by the Eagles. You said about the half-time score there, and about time on, there was only about 4 points of difference. The Store boys kicked 2 late goals there in that second quarter, and it got a bit of a lead. But the Eagles, they played a pretty good brand of footy. Joe McKinnon up forward, he's been moving a little bit up the ground a bit and floating forward. The last week just played as a stay-at-home forward and teamed with Ryan McKenzie there last week, and we'll see the goal kickers. They both of them kicked 3, but largely responsible for a big effort by the Eagles to against the Warriors. So Paul Summers, I see there, he had a day out. He kicked 6 goals in the end, but I think he might have kicked about 6-6 for the day. So he was a bit of a difference between the two sides. But no, good effort by the Eagles, and see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
I reckon that somebody's going to ask the question about Stall, about why Summers has finally broken through for this big game. He'd only kicked 2 goals in the season before that, and early in the season was one of their best players playing in a much different role. So I think Stall might be having some questions asked about their forward setup based on that. A very good effort, though, all the same, by Warwick Eagles to be competitive. 3 goals apiece to the Ryan McKenzie effort, and Joe McKinnon also, as you mentioned before, doing the job. Having a look at this week's games, and it's a crucial week, particularly in the context for Minyat Matoa after last week's loss. They get Nhill. I reckon this is match of the round. Nhill were competitive last week, now on their home ground at Davis Park. I reckon they're not a silly chance. I think they're a chance of knocking off Minyat Matoa this weekend.
Going on current form, you definitely say that, don't you? With the way the Nhill boys have been travelling over the past 6 weeks, and Minyat Matoa coming off that horror last week against the Rats. So yeah, I agree with that. I think the Nhill boys, especially at Davis Park too, it always makes a difference playing on their home ground. But yeah, they're just playing some good footy at the moment, and the Burrows, as we said before, they're up and down a little bit, and they'll be hoping that they're going to be up this weekend because if you look at ladder positions there, but they really, you touched on Stall there before, they are a mathematical chance, but that percentage is going to be pretty hard to make up, especially with a bye in the last round. So the Burrows, I'm thinking if their destiny's there in their own hands to push into 4th place and replace Dimbula, and they'll need to do that this weekend. So I'll give them a chance to knock over the Nhill boys, but it should be a tough battle.
Good match. D's play Stall at Horsham City. The D's had a good outing last week, and I think that they'll be credible, but I think Stall should beat them, even though it's at Horsham City.
Yeah, no, exactly, and we were just talking about there with their finals chance, in that if they're going to have any sort of sniff in the spot, they need to win this game, and you'd think they would do that against Horsham, but you never know. The Demons are going to explode one day, and they got a couple of weeks to do that to finish off the season and set themselves up for next year. But look, on current form, you'd be saying the Stall boys, and you said there about young Summers. He was pretty potent up there in forward line last week. He can put a bit of a repeat performance in there. She'll be go a long way for the Stall boys to get a win.
Yeah, round 17 action sees Ararat take on Horsham Saints, the top of the table clash. Can anyone head the Rats? I'll tell you what, my dog actually caught a rat this week, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't a good experience for anybody. So maybe the Saints are not in for a good experience this weekend.
They might be just following on from what everyone else has every other team's been going through, including the Burrows there last weekend. With the Rats back on their home deck at Alexander Oval, it'll be a tough gig for the Saints to get over it. But in saying all that, if anyone's going to do it, it's the Saints, who I won't say they've been flying under the radar, because their position on the ladder just shows that they're right up there amongst it this season. But this is their test, isn't it? This is the one they need to put up a big performance, and regardless of the results, not going to change their top 3 per position, but it'll just be all about the psyche of the game. These two could meet again in the finals in a few weeks' time. So be a good game. But look, I'll be tipping the Rats to continue on their merry way, but yeah, it'll be a real good contest, this one.
Warwick Eagles come up against the Southern Mallee Giants at Anzac Park. Your boys haven't won this year. The Giants, we're going to call this what? The Henty Highway Cup, or the Yarriambiac Shield. It should have a name, I reckon, this clash between these two sides. What about at the Yarriambiac Shire? Good opportunity maybe to promote the game in the local area. I'm going to tip the Southern Mallee Giants. Although they've got a couple of players out of their side from the Gold Coast, I think they should still be too good.
Yeah, they'll definitely go in favourites for this game. They've always had a winning record over the Eagles since they joined into the Wimmera Footy League, and you'd think they'd be heavily favoured to continue that vein tomorrow. But back at Anzac Park, the Eagles, it's their last game at home, and that should come up an absolute treat hopefully the weather can be nice and fine for them. They should get a decent crowd, but these two sides have a good following when they play each other. They the supporters like to get together and mingle around and hopefully watch a good game. You mentioned there about the Giants, a couple of boys that aren't playing, but one key one in, and we've already spoken about it, but Sammy White returns after a long layoff, so that's good for the Giants, and they hope to get a couple more back over the next couple of weeks before finals. But yeah, in looking at this one, I'm looking forward to this game. I think the Eagles, what they showed last week, they will take a heap of confidence out of that. Danny Bell, unfortunately, will miss the clash again. He's got a bit of an ankle injury, but they'll welcome a couple of other boys back in and, hopefully put up a good showing because, as I said, it should be a good day. It should be a good crowd, and they're their last game at Anzac Park for the season, so it should be a good day.
Yeah, great stuff, and a good weekend. I did see that there could be in Wimmera Football next year an under-12s competition incorporated into the league. How do you see that one?
Oh, definitely. That'd be great. You look at the kid. I don't get there that often. It's 9:00 in the morning, but I've been up a couple of times, and the kids, little under 9ers, they're running around. They absolutely love it. So the under 12 competition would be popular, and it'd be great for the league because those kids they love it. You get the mums and dads out of bed nice and early and travel to these other places, but the kids they just love it. So they'll love an under 12 comp. It'll be fantastic.
All right, good one, Scotty Stewart from the Warwick Herald. Big weekend of footy, and we'll look forward to your comments next week as we get to the business end of the home and away season.
Yeah, good on you, Wayne. No worries.